Hello there, welcome back to the Agostino Zinga Show with your host Agostino Zinga, and this is episode number 825. That is ocho, dos, cinco of the Agostino Zinga Show, coming at you live and direct from an undisclosed location somewhere within the depths of London. How you doing? How you feeling? Great. How am I? All good in the flipping hood. For those of you watching via the live stream, I do apologize for my tardiness. I was meant to get home way earlier than I did previously, or than I did obviously, because I ended up spending a lot more time in the gym than I intended to spend. But sometimes when you're in there getting a pump in and you're feeling in the mode, it kind of, you just want to kind of go with it. So I do apologize for taking a bit longer than I should have taken, because I should have started random show by now, but I'm doing Tazs, so everything's been pushed back. But I do apologize. If you can stay up a little bit longer, I will make it worth your while. Don't worry, I will make it worth your while. We got so much stuff to kind of cover on random show as well, so if you can stay up, I will make it worth your while. But for now, we're going to go through Tazs, the #1 cultural commentary podcast in the world. Sit back, relax, and let's just do what needs to be done. First things first, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a check-in. I'm 7 days into Sober October, so I thought I might as well give you guys a check-in of how I'm feeling and what's going on. I have to be honest, the hardest part of Sober October so far has been the output, because I wanted to stream every day. I wanted to write all my blogs, do all my newsletters and stuff, and do some mixes and shit, and I've had no time. From work and also working out and recording the pod, I've had literally no time to do all that other stuff that I was meant to do. So the working out hasn't actually been that hard, weirdly enough. Working out every day hasn't really been that difficult. Running every day hasn't been that difficult. The actual hard thing is sitting down and writing a blog post, is sitting down writing a Substack, is sitting down doing the mix. That's actually the difficult part. Sitting down doing Patreon, that's the difficult part. Like, creating the content is really difficult, but the working and everything else, eating correctly, not drinking, no drugs, that's perfectly easy. I've done that with my eyes closed perfectly well, which is really astounding. But let's not lie, working out every day so far, it's been 7 days in a row. My legs and my body starting to feel it now. Like, I think that's also why I took a bit longer in the gym. Every set was a bit more laborious. Like, I wasn't bouncing around the gym, like getting my plates and moving shit around. Usually I'm like, supercharged and feeling nice and tingly, but today I was feeling very, very tired. My muscles were feeling very sore. There was a couple of periods of time I was leaning against the rack and stuff, trying to get a seat somewhere. So it was way more difficult today than I've seen in previous days, which obviously makes sense because I'm working out this every day and there's no break in between. But I am liking pushing myself. I think the whole point of Sober October for me is to push yourself to a point of like exhaustion, push yourself to a point where you break down. And I think it's a good thing because, usually I indulge on the other side of things and I usually break down that way. So it's good to kind of break down in a somewhat positive way. That's going to obviously be somewhat meaningful and give, and be able to kind of give me something back in the future in terms of, give me a good base of fitness. My language learning is going to improve. My reading is going to improve. Everything else is going to improve. My writing also, which I want to do more of. But yeah, that's been the hardest part, the output, which I've been really surprised by. I'm not going to lie, but it makes sense though, right? Because, to do the output of the writing stuff, I'd have to wake up really early to write in the morning. I'm still reading 2 hours in a day. Then I've got work that takes up 7 to 8 hours per day. There's only so much time in the day that I could do certain things. So it's been kind of crazy, which is funny because it's just like that realization when you actually have things on, when you're actually doing things, you don't have time. When you don't have things to do, you have all the time in the world. So if you know anybody in your social group or your friendship group who always has time for things, most likely that person's a bum. If you know somebody that has all the time in the world to do things, whenever you drop a plan in their lap, last minute they're down. If you change your plan 10 minutes, 20 times before you go, they're okay with it. Like, that person probably is a bum, because from what I've been experiencing these, last few months and stuff, by doing way more and working way more 9 to 5 and stuff and doing all this shit, I've noticed that Jesus Christ, there really is not that much time. And I'm also lucky that I don't have a big social group. So I don't really have, you know, friends like that. So if I did, that'd be extra difficult because you have to balance seeing them, all that malarkey. So I'm happy that I'm a hermit. I'm happy that I'm a hermit. Anyway, moving on. The less said that about that, the better. Let's get cracking on. Let's get cracking on. First things first, we have to talk about. First things first. This is my personal 9/11. This is a tragic story, a story that legitimately took my breath away, a story that made me nearly faint, a story that maybe brought a tear to my eye when I saw this regarding TMZ. Now we have to take this with a pinch of salt because it is TMZ, but still, this is heartbreaking, distressing news, and this is my own 9/11. Absolutely horrible news. Look at TMZ. Kanye West and Bianca Censori, marriage on the rocks, divorce on the horizon. God damn it, Kanye, man. Divorcing again. You know, every time I say again, I think of that fucking Fresh and Thick lip. Again. Bloody hell, Kanye. What are you doing, brother? I thought she was the one. She was holding you down. She seemed like you have a perfect relationship on the outside. She was your muse. You know, design consultant, architect, all that stuff, you know, like starting off from easy and shit. Traveling the world together. You know, bouncing ideas off each other, looking fabulous, walking around town and shit, getting blowies on a boat in the middle of Florence and shit. What's happened, Kanye, man? What's happened, my guy? What's happened? So again, we don't know if this is true because TMZ like to report things without vetting it and shit. But the fact that Kanye hasn't come out, because this came out a few hours ago prior to me going to the gym actually, and when I've come back now, there still hasn't been an update or clarification. So it does seem to be legit, because if this wasn't legit, I think somebody from Bianca Censori's team or somebody from Ye's team would have come out and said, hey, no, they're perfectly fine, you know? And the fact that no one's clarified it leads me to believe that most likely there is an issue, which makes, I guess if you're a Ye fan like I am, I'd call myself a Ye stan. If you follow some of the Ye fan accounts on social, you would have seen, apart from the show, which one was it? I forgot the one where she came with her family. Bianca Censori went to one show recently with her whole family. She went with her sister, who's incredibly hot too, by the way. She's got a sister that's just like more, that's just basically a little bit slimmer than her, but they look exactly the same. Smoke show. Actually, the mum is also a piece. I'm not gonna lie. All respect due to the mum, Mama Censori, but Mama Censori ain't too bad to look at either. But I think she went to one concert that Ye did recently with all her family. But the recent ones, I think the ones in China and the ones in Japan, yeah, the ones in China basically, I don't think I've seen her. I'm not too sure. I don't think I've seen her. Or maybe the most recent one, which was a bit weird because she's always there kind of obviously for support and sometimes, you know, acting basically as a default stepmom when Kanye's kids get there too, which must be a lot in it because Kanye's got like 4 kids. That's got to be a lot to deal with Ye himself and then to also have to deal with the kids who happen to be the kids of fucking Kim Kardashian and shit. That's got to be a lot as a kind of stepmom. But regardless, I haven't really seen her around a lot. So that might explain it, because I think the last times I've seen pictures of Ye traveling, he's been with that guy that's got the goatee and the grills and the cane rolls. He dresses really well too. I think his name is Aston or something. He's been with him more often. He hasn't really been with Bianca Censori. So maybe that is an indication that they're on the rocks, which is a real shame to be fair, because I thought they kind of they matched very well, clearly. And she seemed to be somebody that was I'd say somewhat of a calming influence to Gabe on the outside looking in. He hasn't really had many crash outs, you know, really, since he's been with her. Not major ones that I can think of. I think she's done a good job of kind of, you know, keeping him kind of calm and shit. So it is kind of sad to see this ending the way it is. And obviously, design wise and creatively, they have an incredible relationship. They really kind of, you know, bounce up each other really well. They look amazing in their outfits and shit. She's basically spearheaded this whole new trend of basically wearing absolutely nothing or trying to wear the least possible, you know, items, no bags, no real heavy makeup and shit. Like, I really loved her style evolution and how she's been kind of going out there and putting on looks. And I've also liked the fact that he's been able to compliment her and sometimes, you know, do his whole thing as well. I've actually enjoyed, actually, weirdly enough, how they dress in terms of, even though Ye's a, you know, he's a guy that's into fashion. I like the fact that he takes a back seat a little bit. Not sure if that makes sense. There's a like, maybe it's my wannabe alpha male brain, but I think a part of being an alpha male is knowing how to take a back seat and let your woman sort of like shine, You know what I mean? I think there's a part of being an alpha male that doesn't always mean that you have to walk in front and let her kind of walk behind you. I think sometimes being an alpha male is like allowing a woman who looks amazing to wear whatever she wants to wear in front of you, and you're just there for fucking support and shit, of course, but letting her kind of, have the eyes on her. Because, in my personal opinion, I always think fashion looks best on women, and obviously style is more of a guy's thing. And I love like how Ye kind of like takes the back seat. He'll wear like, he's monochromatic, he's all white, all black, standard sweats, and she comes out, with her fucking, mummy milkers like swanging, butt crack out, puss out and shit, just looking amazing. I quite like how he just like lets her do her thing and he kind of takes the back seat. I don't know. I just thought about that out off the top of my head there. But anyway, let's just read the article. It says as follows: Kanye West and Bianca Censori are possibly headed to divorce, TMZ has learned. Multiple sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Ye and Bianca have been telling people that they around them that they split up weeks ago, with the Ye architect heading down to Australia to spend time with her family since the split. But to be fair, Ye's CV post Kim. I still think that Brazilian girl might have been hotter than Bianca, as hot as Bianca Censori is, because I think the good thing about someone like the Bianca Censori is that she used to work for Yeezy, right? And she's a certified architect herself. Like, she comes from a design background and shit. So, and she had her own practice and all that malarkey, right? So I think with someone like Bianca Censori, if you're Ye, I think you probably get a boner from her, obviously looking at her, but you also get a boner from her intellect, conversations and stuff, creatively collaborating. That's probably what you'd imagine would turn someone on like Ye a lot more, because you can fuck a hot girl, there's loads of hot girls you can fuck, but a hot girl is a hot girl. But then when you got one with brains and one that actually knows about the things that you know about, or maybe knows more than what you know, or can add something else to something that you don't know about, like, whoa, do you know what I mean? But that Brazilian girl before Bianca Censori, I think her name is like Nalo or Naldo or something. I'm not gonna Google it. I don't want my algorithm to go crazy. But I think if you know that girl. God Almighty. Ye's got a CV and a half. Let's not lie. Ye's got a CV and a half. But as much as I love Ye, he's also must be an absolute nightmare to deal with if you're a woman. Could you imagine like legitimately dating this guy? Like, that's why I think maybe Julia Fox got like a good, she got a good situation going on there. She got a couple bags. She, the Julia Fox fucking relationship basically changed her career around, because I really felt bad for Julia Fox, I'm not gonna lie, because I remember Julia Fox was in Uncut Gems, right? And that was meant to be her big breakout movie. But if I'm not mistaken, Uncut Gems was filmed around or released around the pandemic. So she couldn't even really promo it, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of like died. It was on, I think it went straight to streaming platforms, if I'm not mistaken. So she didn't even have a chance to really kind of like work that movie. But then when Ye came around, that sort of gave her another little lift, and she was able to kind of rebrand herself as this, like, she's doing this whole fashion thing. Now I think, if I'm not mistaken, now I think she might be even lesbian. But I think the whole relationship with Ye kind of really helped to kind of like turbocharge her career. So I guess if you're a woman, maybe dating Ye is good for the look, but day to day it must be stressful when you're sitting down having breakfast and he's talking about Hitler and shit. He's talking about Hitler. He's talking about the Jews, how they control the music industry. He's spitting feathers about Adidas and how they fucked him over. He's talking badly about Drake and how much he hates him. Like, it must be intense to be with Ye day in day out, because one thing you will know about Ye is that he's the same way off camera when he is on camera. So yeah, big up all the ladies in Ye's life who've had to put up with him. It must be a lot. They get a lot out of it for sure, but it also must be a lot day to day. Multiple sources with direct knowledge say Ye and Bianca have been telling people around them that they split up weeks ago, and the Yeezy architect, is heading out to Australia to spend time with her family since the split. While there's no word on what prompted the split or who pulled the plug on the relationship, we're told Ye has been telling people close to him that he plans to live in Tokyo and divorce Bianca. Oh, is that she pulling out? Look at that picture. That's a horrible picture. I think she's pulling out her panties from her ass crack. But I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Like, I've always wanted to go to Japan, right? With my streetwear fucking roots and my fascination and love. You know, fucking going to Tokyo is basically like going to Mecca for streetwear people and even fashion people, sneaker people, all around, design people, it doesn't matter. So I'm fucking fascinated with going to Tokyo, fascinated with going to Japan overall. But I also have heard from people or read online that a lot of celebrities, especially people like Ye, would love to live somewhere like Tokyo because the celebrity culture isn't the same as it is in Europe or even North America. So you basically get left alone. You can kind of live your life there without really worrying about paps following you everywhere and being bothered in the street too much. They're really polite people there. They kind of let you do your thing and you can kind of, you know, do your own thing and kind of coach there. If I remember correctly, didn't Frank Ocean live in Tokyo for a bit? I think Frank Ocean lived there for a bit and he kind of raved about it as well. So I don't blame you, especially, you know, considering what he's gone through in the last few years. He maybe wants to kind of wind down and just kind of live like a monk in Tokyo, design loads of cool shit, have access to all the best factories and designers and whatever else near him, you know, daily inspiration all around you. Plus you get left alone, you know. I don't blame the guy if that's the case. And also it's the perfect life to live, man. When you're as rich as him, fuck being in LA and shit and living behind a gate. Like, go and live in different places for a couple of years here and there. Maybe move to Berlin for a bit. Maybe move to fucking Tbilisi in Georgia. Then go to Tokyo. Then go to fucking Stockholm or, you know, whatever, Copenhagen. Like, why not? You got the money. You're fucking yay. Like, that's what I would do. Fuck living in LA. LA's fucking boring. I'd imagine anyway, day to day. I've only been there once and I was fucking bored. I can't imagine what obviously it must be fun if you're rich, but nah. The rapper was spotted flying solo in the Japanese capital, on more than one occasion. As TMZ previously reported, Kanye West was seen enjoying a meal at the local Jamaican restaurant with Bianca nowhere in sight. Prior to his excursion, Ye stepped out for an evening of wrestling at the end of September, where he's been fist bumping wrestler La Dinastia Wagner in the crowd. Again, Ye was without Bianca, which was odd for the usually inseparable couple. Man, that's a shame. The couple was last seen photographed on September 20th when Bianca wore her signature nearly naked style for a shopping spree with Ye. Kanye and Bianca made a splash with their romance, secretly tying a knot in December 2022 before ever telling the world that they were an item. Following the nuptials, Bianca became a regular fixture by Ye's side, enjoying the everything public events from family time to rapper with the kids. Yet it appears that trouble in paradise for the two, indicating Ye is set for a second divorce. Sources with direct knowledge confirmed Bianca and Ye obtained confidential marriage license in December 2022 in Palo Alto, California. Ye is previously married to Kim Kardashian, with whom he's welcomed his kids, North Saint, Chicago, and Psalm. And we've reached out to Kanye for comments. So far, no word back. Shame, really. It's a shame. It's a shame, really, because again, like I said, I thought they were perfectly matched. But I guess, you know, sometimes what you see on the outside isn't what's going on behind the scenes. I've just been curious with people, like, I guess it must make sense. I've always wondered, like, why do people, especially someone like Ye, who was going through a really difficult time after splitting up with Kim and, you know, going through some mental health issues, struggling creatively, Virgil passing, Adidas thing, Gap deal breaking down, blah, 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 record industry business, all this sort of nonsense. I've always been surprised when people going through that decide to, like, get into a relationship. I would have thought, like, the last thing you want to do is be in a relationship. Maybe you want to fuck around and stuff, but being actually in a relationship with somebody and then marrying somebody, I always thought that sort of thing is like you've got so much on your plate. I was surprised when he got married straight away, like so soon after divorcing Kim. I was like, brother, but you got so much on your plate. You got so much to deal with. You're basically being cancelled like a million times in public for saying all of this crazy shit that he was saying when he was going on his anti-Semite world tour and shit. But I guess maybe on the other side, if you are going through that sort of stuff, maybe the best thing that you can do is to be with somebody, right? You don't want to kind of be alone. Maybe is the most important thing, but I don't know. I'm just the way my brain thinks. I don't think I could handle, you know, being in relation, like finding love or trying to find love when I'm literally being cancelled for saying that, you know, the Holocaust didn't happen and shit, and saying that Adolf Hitler was a good guy. Like, I couldn't. I mean, you have to handle those things first, put out those fires before you move to a relationship. But you know, yeah. But he did know her for a long time as well. To be fair, they were friends for a long time. I think she worked at Yeezy for years prior to them, you know, getting together. So, you know, that probably made it a lot easier. And you know, sometimes the best relationships usually are the ones where you actually know the person as a friend. So it probably was a lot easier to kind of handle, and especially at that big age, you know, why waste time fucking around when you can find your person and then kind of try and make it work? But yeah, second divorce is wild. I wonder if there's a possibility he gets back with Kim. Probably unlikely because of he probably. I think he gave Kim a hell of a time, like negatively. I don't think Kim's family probably have a lot of good things to say about him as a person. He probably did way, you know, especially what do you call Kris Jenner? Chris Kong Young or whatever, Chris Don Young, whatever, right? So like he was kind of rude to the family overall. So that probably isn't gonna happen. Maybe, you never know. But yeah, the relationship between Bianca Censori and Kanye is over. It is over. R.I.P. 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 Moving on. Look at these absolute legends. Look at these absolute legends. Courtesy of the Manchester Evening News. Pair caught with ketamine-filled Kinder eggs in their bums at Creamfields. Yes, you heard it. A pair of teenage legends, young men, young legends, young kings were caught in Creamfields Festival with Kinder eggs filled with ketamine stuffed up their fucking a-holes. Could you imagine? What a delight. Absolute British, English finest, British finest. You gotta love these guys. So free Marshall and free fucking Harry. Free Marshall, free Harry. They did absolutely nothing wrong. They're absolute fucking legends. I fucking love these guys. So let's listen to the story. Let's read through the story. 2 men were found with Kinder eggs filled with ketamine in their bums as they tried to sneak the drugs into Creamfields Festival. Marshall Maddox and Harry Hewitson tried to sneak in the drugs into the Drasbury Music Festival on Friday, August 25th last year. The Liverpool Echo reports. As they were about to enter through the North Park Gate, sniffer dogs raised the alarm and both men were taken to be searched by officers. I remember, right, there was this one time where we went to a festival, Junction 2 actually, the first year, me and my friend Bobby, big up Bobby, and we were kind of already getting on it before we went to the festival. We were already kind of indulging in multivitamins before we got there. But, you know, unfortunately for us, the festival location was pretty far from the station. It was maybe like more than a mile long. So we were still indulging in the multivitamins by the time on the way there. So by the time we arrived at the festival gates, we were spinning. So I guess we kind of looked like we were spinning from security guards. As we were walking up to go to the gate, the security guard saw us and said to us, "Hey, come over here." And he took us to a separate kind of entrance. So we thought that was like a special, we thought we got picked. We thought we got selected to go to like a VIP way or something. I don't know. We were so fucking, you know, we were so fucking happy off our multivitamins. We thought we would get selected to go to a special gate. It wasn't a special gate. It was actually a more thorough search kind of entry. So we queue up, we go through this little tent thing. As we go through the tent, they kind of close. It was like a tent with like a, you know, like a little door thing. They kind of pull it down, and we're like, oh shit, that's when we knew something wrong was going on. But luckily, and again, the thing with me, I'm a believer in, like, this is a weird thing to say aloud, but I'm a believer in like not trying too hard when it comes to that sort of stuff. I'm not gonna buff stuff. I'm not gonna put stuff in my mouth, like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna stuff it in my balls, or, you know, whatever, in my little pockets, whatever, in my sock. That's it. If someone finds it, they find it, whatever. I'm not gonna go as far as it's not necessary. So we didn't really hide it super hard in terms of, like, you know, if you were gonna search us, you would have found it straight away. But somehow the fucking rave girls were looking down on us very well and giving us grace and shit. And even though we got thoroughly searched, like in terms of like taking off our shoes, taking off jackets, everything, and they were looking in every compartment of the bags, they didn't find our stuff. And I swear to God, we were already quite hyped, and me and Bobby were really eager to go to this festival. We were super excited to see certain artists there. I can't lie, honestly, the excitement that we both felt when we both left the tent and we were able to go in, because I think he might have left before me, so he didn't know whether or not I got chucked out or not, you know what I mean? It's that weird kind of thing. The excitement when we both saw each other, you can't replicate that. No drug can replicate that feeling of leaving those, you know, that extra search tent and seeing your friend, and you're both like, you both still have your multivitamins. You're like, It was fucking amazing. But that was really that was nerve wracking. I'm not gonna lie. And I remember as well in the tent they had a dog, so it was like an extra tent. Like yeah, they have to take off everything, and they also had a dog that was like sniffing everywhere. And I was like, oh my god, I just just got lucky really that they didn't really find anything. But I don't understand people that do this sort of stuff, like buff it, like honestly, like God Almighty, really. It's not really that deep. But to be fair, most likely when you do this sort of stuff, you're doing it because you want to sell. So I think if you got your own personal amount, you probably can easily, stuff it somewhere, in your boxes and you'll be fine. But if you're trying to sell stuff in the festival, probably, stuffing in a Kinder Egg is probably a good idea because the Kinder Egg is like what? It's about that big, right? You could probably get about, with ketamine being shards, you could probably get more than 10 grams in that. Especially if it's not been maybe even better if it's already been grinded. You could get quite a lot in a fucking Kinder Egg, or maybe no, sorry, I think they mean a Kinder Egg, or maybe do they mean the Kinder Egg toy thing on the inside, because the actual Kinder Egg is quite big. That would be quite painful to put up your flipping a-hole. The actual Kinder Egg size. If they mean what the Kinder Egg toy is on the inside, that's a bit smaller. Maybe you could still do that, but that is still too much for it's not that deep. But again, festivals are also amazing markups. Because everybody there, because most festivals, especially in the UK, you can't leave and come back in. Maybe in Europe it's different, you can re-entry, but most UK festivals you can't. So if you do manage to get stuff in, you might be one of only 2 or 3 people that has stuff. So you can usually charge, you can overcharge and shit. People are paying like, 100 quid a gram for Ket because no one else sells it. And people are going to buy it because they're in the festival and they want to get high. So yeah, sometimes I think the risk, sometimes the reward is worth the risk, I'd say, in this regard. Marshall Maddox and Harry Wilson tried to sneak the drugs in. Maddox, 21, handed a small quantity of drugs over to police but then refused to be searched further. Before he refused, an intimate search was carried. Oh, so he had more. So he had some already he handed over. Yeah, that's a big mistake. He should have agreed to the search, and he probably would have got in with the stuff in his bum. Officers found a Kinder Egg filled with 10 bags of ketamine in his anus. Yeah, see, I told you about 10 grams. I don't know why I know this off my head, because I've never put anything in my ass, I promise. No, Diddy, I promise you I've never. But I could assume that you could probably fit about 10 grams in a little Kinder Egg sort of container thing. Hubiera, 22, was also refused to be searched initially, but also was found with the chocolate capsule filled with drugs hidden in his anus. The pair were both sentenced in Chester Crown Court on Friday. Maddox of Roberts Drive, Rudolph, was jailed for 18 months after he admitted possession of a Class A drugs, cocaine, and possession of Class B drugs, ketamine. They got 18 months, minor, man. They're gonna bust case, man. With good behavior, they could be out fucking next year. Minor, bro. Minor. 18 months each. Minor. Following the sentencing, PC Lisa Green said both men had multiple opportunities to rethink what they were doing. Yeah, so basically, she's basically saying that they could have got away with it. They could have maybe given away what they had, and they could have got away with it, but they were being, assholes about it, and they ended up getting searched, and then their search revealed the fucking Kinder Eggs. Maddox and Hewitson were well aware of the law, and there were multiple opportunities to rethink what they were doing. Amnesty bins were in place at the entrance points at the sites for protected items, but despite this, they continued their efforts to smuggle harmful illegal drugs. Who's putting their drug? Only a fucking dork, only a do-gooder is gonna get scared and put their drugs in amnesty bins. Most of the times when you go to places and you take your multivitamins there, if they find, especially if it's like a personal amount, they'll just chuck it away, and sometimes they'll let you in still, or sometimes they'll tell you to go home. So what? You wasted 100 quid on a festival ticket. Not too bad. Come on, I'm not throwing something away in the amnesty bin. What do I look like? A do-gooder? The festival is a huge operation, and Cheshire police work with event organisers and security staff in a bid to prevent illegal drugs getting on the site. Be under no illusion, while a large majority of Creamfields festival goers are respectful, those smuggling drugs into the event will be charged and dealt with by the courts. Do not make this mistake. I guess the problem they have is that in the UK as well, though, the problem that we have is that a lot of festivals, I don't know why this is, but maybe it's just dealers here are fucking scumbags. But I've noticed a lot of festivals, sometimes dealers take stuff in there that isn't good, stuff that they've boshed or bashed stuff that just isn't what they say it is, because the opportunity to make a lot of money is really, really high. So if you go there and you just take some shit with you that isn't what you say it is, you can sell it for an exorbitant amount. People that are already drunk and high anyway, they won't notice. So you can make a fucking killing. But also you can put people's lives in danger. That's the problem. So I think a lot of this stuff has to do with them trying to prevent people dying, basically. Kids are going there and taking like bad ecstasy pills and they're fucking dying legitimately, and which is obviously horrible. No one wants that to happen, but I think most of it happens at festivals because a lot of the stuff that gets into festivals is not of good quality and is mostly done to kind of just sell at high markups as opposed to, you know, allowing people to have a good time and shit. That's the only problem. But if you do go out of your way to pre-prepare and bring your own stuff, as these guys are proved, you run the risk that you might get searched extensively and you might get prison time. So you have to decide. Do you kind of roll the dice and buy shitty stuff when you get to the festival for some dodgy person you don't know? Or do you buy your own stuff, test it, know it's legit, and then run the risk that you might get 18 months? I don't know. I have no experience of this. I'm just speaking hypothetically. I don't go to festivals. I don't go outside. I'm a Christian boy. I just stay indoors and mind my business, okay? I don't know what I'm talking about. This is all a prank. I don't know what's going on. What you're seeing is not what you're seeing. What you're seeing is not what you're seeing. Okay. Okay. Moving on. Good news for me. Good news for me and all sneakerheads out there. One of the best, I think, sneakers to release in maybe the last decade or so, which is the Tom Sachs Mars Yards and Nike Mars Yards. We now have news, courtesy of Complex, that Nike and Tom Sachs are working together again. If you remember, I think maybe it's a couple of years ago, Tom Sachs got into a bit of trouble because there was this hit piece out about him and his working practices at Tom Sachs studio, and people were kind of shocked to find out that he was basically an arsehole behind the scenes, how allegedly he was appearing on Zoom calls naked, shouting at people in the studio, throwing pens at them, books at them, you know, just being a tyrant, you know, classic sort of like design studio working conditions, creative studio conditions, fashion studio conditions. If you work in that field, you know that isn't uncommon. But I think people were surprised because he's got maybe a bit of a jolly fucking deposition and he comes across like a cool dude, but people kind of discovered through that op-ed or through that piece, I think it was maybe on Grubhub or something, that he wasn't the bestest of guys. Me personally, I thought it was blown out of proportion. I thought more than likely that was the case across all design practices, all design fields. Most studios are run like that. That's just the nature of the game. It's very rare that you find nice people in the design fashion industry, and when you do, it's a real fucking breath of fresh air and surprise. But for the most part, you're gonna come across assholes and shit, especially if they're accomplished. They're gonna really kind of believe their own, you know, farts don't stink and stuff. So you have to just navigate it well in your own way and kind of try and get the best out of it if you can. So I wasn't too surprised to hear about it, and I personally think it wasn't enough for him to get his Nike deal taken away from him, because essentially he's just an asshole of a guy. He's probably not the bestest person to work for. He might be a cunt in person, but I don't think being a cunt and being unlikable is a reason for you to get quote unquote cancelled. Get cancelled for doing some abhorrent things, as we know what the abhorrent things are, actual illegal things, but being a piece of shit, I don't think should be grounds to getting cancelled, because if that was the case, then we have to cancel a whole bunch of people out there. So I'm glad to see common sense has prevailed. People don't care about him throwing, you know, if he throws a notebook at your face, just quit and go somewhere else. But I don't think he should be having his shoes get cancelled personally. And you know, I'm somewhat biased because, like I said before, the Tom Sachs Mars Yards are one of my favorite sneakers in the last 10 years. I had a pair that I completely wore into the ground. I had to basically throw it away recently because I wore them so much into the ground. The sides were splitting. I had a hole in the bottom of the shoe, and they were one of the most comfy shoes, most versatile shoes, and also one of the only sneakers I've had in recent years, apart from maybe Yeezys, that get a lot of compliments from like regular people. Because I always think regular civilians, quote unquote, non-sneakerheads, if they compliment your trainers, that's usually a sign that you've got some cool trainers on. Because, you know, it's all, you know, sneakerheads are gonna fucking wank over anything that's limited edition, that's covered in glitter and fucking, you know, zebra skin. But when a regular person says, oh shit, nice shoes, I love that compliment way more. So I would get so many compliments walking down the street wearing my Tom Sachs Mars yard. So I'm over the moon, legitimately over the moon that he's back working with Nike. So this is the article courtesy of Complex. It says Nike announced on Monday that will resume a partnership with the New York artist Tom Sachs, who saw after Nike collaborations were put on pause in 2023 after reports that that depicted Sachs as a volatile, cruel boss who intentionally ran his studio like a cult. I love it. The brand said that it's reviewed its relationship with Tom Sachs and decided to move forward with the collaborations. That's probably because they're suffering too, by the way. Don't be shocked. I think in general Nike's, I saw some reports Nike's sales are down. They recently changed CEO, so I think this has a lot to do with that. It also maybe explains why they're retroing loads of limited edition shoes, like the Wu-Tang Danks are coming back out again. The fucking the Stash Air Maxes are coming back out again. The Stash Air Force Ones are coming back out again. The undefeated Air Jordan 4s are coming back out again. So they're re-releasing a lot of limited edition shoes that were super hard to get back in the day. And I think the reason why, because their sales are down. So it makes sense that they would re-sign somebody who's responsible for one of their most highest selling shoes. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Tom Sachs Mars yards, the ones that I had, I think they still go for like $5,000 on StockX. I swear they do. Let's check it quickly. I think the last time I checked, they still go for like, yeah, see? Jesus Christ. I had the 2.0s. They're still going for like, someone sold them for $12,000. Let's see how much they're going for here. They still go for crazy amounts on resale. So I think this probably played a part in Nike deciding, you know what? Let's get this guy back. So there's a pair here. Let's see what sizes. What size do they have available? My size, which is US 11. Oh my God. Look at the prices. Jesus Christ. My size, US 11, is £5,000. £5,000. God almighty. What's the cheapest? The cheapest so far that I've seen on here is £3,310, which is for a UK 5. But if you want like a decent, a quote unquote normal adult size, anywhere from like size 8 upwards, you're paying $6,000. UK 8, $6,000. UK 8.5, 8,300. UK 9, 7,250. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. So yeah, this probably speaks to why they re-signed him. And what's this one? I think this might be that's the 2.0. So the 2 came out. This is I think this is the first one, right? So this is the first one that has, this is the first one. So the first ones even go for way more money. The 1.0s, I guess. These go for like $10,000. Oh my God. Oh my God. I think they did some changes on those as well, by the way. I forgot what the design changes were, but Jesus Christ. Yeah, this explains why they re-signed him. Now we know why they re-signed him. Let's see. Tom has demonstrated and recommitted to fostering a culture of respect and inclusivity. Oh, is that? So what's he doing now? Is he hiring more black people down or something? Nike statement said in a statement, we can confirm that our work with Tom Sachs will continue, and this next chapter of Nike Craft will uphold our shared passion for team, product, and storytelling excellence. More details to come in 2025. The sneaker brand provided a statement from Sachs. I'm honored that we will continue to build together as Nike Craft team community. The Mars Yard 3.0 is in the final stage of development and is currently being wear tested. I'm excited to share some soon. The statements confirm that Nike and Tom Sachs will release the Nike 3.0 next year. The brand sent Complex a teaser image featuring the inside tongue of a shoe, with the text identifying it as a Mark II. Okay, so that's the inside of it. So most likely what we're going to get is this, I think. We're going to get this. I think this is the 3.0. So it's basically the same as the regular Mars Yards, but they have reinforced silver eyelets. They also have a reinforced rubberized toe here, which obviously is something that you would kind of be handy if you were working in a workshop somewhere with tools and whatnot. And if I'm not mistaken, the material here on the toe box and the side panels is made out of, like, I forgot the material name, but it's basically waterproof. And it's waterproof and water resistant kind of thing. So that kind of works really well as well. So those would be, I'm gonna obviously be trying to buy a pair, and I think they might have changed a little bit of the midsole too. I'm not too sure if that's been reinforced as well. But that's the updated Nike Mars Yard. The one that obviously I had that I absolutely destroyed is this one, the 2.0. Such a beautiful shoe. I wish I could get another pair actually. That's actually a shoe I'd actually fucking consider getting a fucking replica of. I'm not gonna lie, because it's impossible. You know, I'm not gonna pay $5,000 for a pair of fucking Mars Yards, and who knows? Even the ones on StockX, there's no guarantee that those ones on StockX are fucking legit anyway. Like the resale market is fucking horrendous nowadays. Unless you get something from someone with a receipt, there's no fucking guarantee that you're buying something real. Like the replica game is so fucking strong now, and everyone's fucking scamming everybody. So yeah, it's hard out here. There's also this pair here in black, unreleased pair, which we might see sometime in the future. This was an unreleased pair that never came out. I think one of the samples that I remember seeing as well, in all black with a silver swoosh that looks fucking sick. So yeah, I'm really eager to see them. I can't wait from when they do eventually come out. I really can't wait. Nike Mars Yard collaboration soon to come. And yeah, man, happy they saw the light and were able to make the sensible decision, because, you know, the guy, again, I'm sure everything that was said in that article about Tom Sachs is right. I'm sure he is a volatile and abusive person to work for, but come on, man, that's not a reason to not want to collaborate with him, because I'm sure Nike head office has a bunch of people who are volatile and hard to work with. Do you know what I mean? And those people don't get fired. Fucking look at fucking Marcus Jordan, for fuck's sake. Marcus Jordan was out here taking fat bumps of coke at some restaurant outdoors. I didn't see any report from Nike saying that Trophy Room got their Nike account taken away. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's still got his Nike account. He still gets his collaborations made. So if he could take fat slugs of coke in the restaurant, then Tom Sachs can throw a couple moleskins at some interns. Fuck it. Do you know what I mean? And it also builds character anyway. Do you know what I mean? Getting your fucking boss to throw a fucking notebook at your face builds character. It's a good thing. Then when you go to somewhere else, or when you decide to have your own studio, you know the things that you don't want to see. So it's all good. I like it. I don't mind it. So big up Tom Sachs. Happy to he's back. Happy he's back. I'm so fucking happy he's back. I can't lie. I really fucking am happy that man is back. Cool. Moving on. Can we talk about a little bit quickly about the Balenciaga Spring 2025 collection? I really fucking enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the soundtrack more than anything. I'm not gonna lie, because I watched it live. I don't usually watch fashion shows live, but I did watch this live via the live stream, and it was fucking sick. I think the one that I liked the most was obviously the Beyonce, the Britney Spears "Give Me More" remix. If I'm not mistaken, I think Boyfriend did it. So Boyfriend is Quintet, which is ironically in his name, is fucking Demna's boyfriend. And he's an artist as well. He did a really cool remix of Sunglasses at Night for a Balenciaga collection, and that was a soundtrack for it. And he did a really sick remix for Britney Spears' "Give Me More," which probably won't release, because Britney, you know, Spears is known to be quite tight when it comes to clearing records. But that remix, man, was so sick. It really matched really well with this, with the collection. They had the models walking down a heightened runway that looked like a dining table, which was quite cool, and all the guests were basically sat on the sides. I'm not sure if they were sat on really high chairs or if they were standing, but I loved it. It was like this mahogany runway that basically looked like a dining table. It was fucking sick. The models came out first wearing lingerie, which is something I don't think I've seen in previous Balenciaga collections. I'm not gonna lie. So mostly like nightwear-esque looking stuff. Most of this stuff kind of reminded me of the lady, again, I've never watched Sex and the City, but a lot of this stuff reminded me of the lady in Sex and the City, the one that no one likes anymore. I think she's blonde, and it kind of reminds me of her. I think there was a scene in Sex and the City where she's kind of wearing lingerie with a fur coat and shit, so it kind of reminds me of that sort of kind of vibe. So that looked really cool. And it continues. You got some more dresses here and gowns. And then, of course, when it switches up the music, actually, Britney Spears "Give Me More," that's when you get into the kind of more what you deem to be like streetwear, casual wear type of stuff that I'm obviously more interested in. The denim looks were really strong for me. I really liked some of this stuff, especially the back. The back of it was all kind of open and tied with lace. No, tied with like satin sort of lace at the back. As you can see, so some of it is draping here towards the bottom of the woman's jeans. And I really like this jean jacket as well, how it's cinched here on the waist. It's basically a jean jacket that's also, it's kind of a jean jacket that's cut into a t-shirt. no, a jean jacket that's cut into the shape of a button up, which is really fucking cool. I love the shape of it. The glasses that are gonna come up. Ooh, ho, ho. The sunglasses. I absolutely adore these glasses. So they're essentially, if you can't see the picture, they're kind of like they're basically like a visor, that wraps around your head. And I think I saw a picture of it from the actual showroom. I think it goes around the entirety of your head. So I think they might have to sell it based on the size. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think it even wraps around. I think it wraps around your entire head. So it's not even, there's no like things that go around your ears, but it basically covers the entirety of your nose and all your eyes. So you get this really cool, amazing V shape. The bomber jacket also is really fucking strong. And I also like the addition styling piece of the low-rise jeans. The low-rise jeans with the fucking pubic hairs popping out from the top is fucking hilarious. I love the flip of the G-Star on the jeans, which I'm assuming that's where they got the patterns from, or the shapes. If you know, you know. Back in the day, G-Star jeans used to be the ones wearing in school and stuff. They kind of gone out of trend now. I think a lot of kids that wear Miri jeans probably would like G-Star jeans. Actually, they kind of have the same sort of look, but I love that flip there because that's what G-Star logo looks like. So that's pretty cool. And you've also got these new sneakers from Balenciaga too, which kind of look like foam posits, and they kind of remind me also of Shocks. So they kind of look like foam posits but with zips, and they also look like Shocks but they exaggerate, which I also love. And you have to give them a lot of credit for that. His ability to always design, or Balenciaga team to always put together really new, interesting, fresh silhouettes for sneakers is really cool. Kind of always challenging themselves, never resting on their laurels, because they could have easily just done multiple variations of the Triple S, but they've always kind of changed different silhouettes. They've always taken inspiration from other brands. Like there's like an Asics type version shoe, there's a New Balance type version shoe. Now they're going down a Nike route, but it's always in a very quintessential Balenciaga style. Like this is a very exaggerated cartoon almost like shape of a shoe, but it also kind of reminds you of like Demna, because I think Demna, when he wears stuff, if I'm not mistaken, from what I've been able to see of him personal style wise, it feels like he purposely buys shoes bigger than what his actual shoe size is. Maybe he likes that kind of like feel. So this kind of makes me think that might be part of the inspiration of making the shoes look really bulbous and wide, because the kid's foot is probably, you know, somewhere on the sides here, but there's all this extra sort of like cushioning and material on the outside to make your feet look really fucking big and preposterous. But I quite like it, I'm not gonna lie. Obviously we continue there. Let's go on, let's get this off there. More looks here. You got more bomber jackets again in the black. That looks fucking brilliant. You've got what you'd call I don't know what the shape of these kind of jackets are called, but you've got a lot of them in Uniqlo. Again, it's cinched up on the waist as well, with the low rise showing as well. I'm not too sure what those sneakers are. They look a bit different to the ones I saw. Okay, same sort of thing, but maybe in like a black with the suede. They look really cool there also. You've also got more of the low rise jeans, again with the visors, with the fucking sunglasses. Looks fucking fantastic. And then one of my favorite jackets in the collection is this one in look number 19. This brown jacket kind of reminds me of a leather jacket that I think Loewe did. I think it was Loewe. They did a leather jacket similar to this that Kendall was wearing a lot, and what's her name, Taylor Russell was wearing a lot as well. If you know, I think you know what I'm talking about. It's basically a leather bomber jacket with a collar that is really fucking beautiful. The leather looks nice and supple. It's a nice short sort of style, really kind of exaggerated and blown out sort of sleeves. Really fucking cool. I love it. I really like it. And again, those visor glasses are so fucking hard, like really fucking hard. I'm not gonna lie. I'd wear the fuck out of that. We continue. We've got more looks again here with the jacket. He's been doing a lot of this stuff recently where he's got this, like when he makes a jacket, sometimes you'll have attached to it another jacket stitched onto it that kind of acts as like a hood, but it's not really a hood. It's almost like a thing that, you know, so it's kind of a cool little style. I'm assuming that's probably inspired by something real. Maybe it's an Eastern European thing where the women maybe have extra jackets they have in their bag and they kind of throw that over their head. So that's kind of a cool little thing there I quite like in terms of a styling thing that also is added as a design element. Again, you got another jacket here that I don't know what material that is. Oh, that's really nice as well. I didn't see that up close. That's almost like a knit material. It's almost like a cardigan, but it's been made into the shape of a bomber. That's really fucking nice. I'm not gonna lie. That is beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. That's really fucking cool. And again, you got the low rise G-Star inspired jeans with the paneling and shit, with the nice effects. And you know, I think Demna, you can say, has definitely been the one that's been popularizing this big exaggerated return to 90s, early 2000s Jenko jeans sort of style of jeans. But I like that he's kind of gone back again to the drawing board and made them a little bit more tailored. They're a little bit slim, even though they look really big. They're not as baggy as the previous jeans. So, you know, always kind of innovating and changing things and being one step ahead. Then you've got another, oh, look at that jacket. Fuck me. Another really nice one as well. And I think they're all different styles. So this looks like a Harrington. This is like an exaggerated version of a Harrington. So it looks like he's taken like a regular aviator jacket, an MA1, and a cardigan, and sort of like, you know, exaggerated it and made it look really bulky and kind of made it obviously very short. But I like that this is kind of a Harrington. I think that's a Harrington jacket. I'm pretty sure, especially in that color, it looks like a Harrington. So he's taken a Harrington and kind of flipped it. And then you've also got the shoes here that I spoke about earlier, the foam posit inspired shoes, and these are in a nubuck sort of suede style, which is pretty nice. More jackets here. The jean suit is really nice as well. I really like this kind of flip on the Adidas collaboration I did previously, which is kind of cool because you still get the same effect with the extra line. So how many stripes I got here? 5. So, you know, it's not official collaboration with Adidas, but you still get the same look and effect. And then you've got this really cool Balenciaga logo, which I really love actually, which is basically, it looks like an O, but it's basically meant to be a B. It's very 90s inspired as well. Kind of reminds me of the AOL logo. And again, you've got the visor. That visor is so fucking cool. Those glasses, man. I want a pair of those for sure. Because I think there's been a trend I've noticed of, I forgot what the brand is. I think the guy from, oh, that's it. Do you watch, there's a show called Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. And the main character, obviously Sylvester Stallone in that show, he's always wearing really cool sunglasses, but he has this particular brand that he wears. There's a particular shape anyway, style. And I think I saw Tony Ayo in the video recently wearing one where they almost look like blind glasses. Like they almost look like the glasses that Stevie Wonder wears. That's also coming in vogue. Like they sort of like wrap around the entirety of your face. They're like a square. It kind of blocks off everything. They look fucking wild. But I kind of like that style. So that's why I like the visor also, because you can't really see anything. Yeah, I mean, it literally covers your nose and your eyes and your eyebrows. Like, I fucking love that shit. This looks so fucking hard. I'm assuming they'll be very expensive as well. Again, really nice, cool look again with the head wrap. That's almost like a bomber jacket. That's like a bomber, and it's just like an anorak sleeves or something, or the top wraps around your head. Pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I like that. Let's continue. One of the strongest looks is look 27. This look with the motorcycle jacket, hard as fuck. I'm assuming a lot of rappers are gonna want this. I think a lot of rappers are gonna fucking want this for sure. This is so fucking hard. It's just, it kind of looks like, you know, like an actual motorcycle jacket, the ones that's got padding on it that you're meant to wear when you're riding a superbike or whatnot. That was what it looks like, and it's really exaggerated Balenciaga logos and patches all over it. It's got a really cool BB logo on the inside, on the top front as well, that I really like. The perforated panels here, the top here is really nice. The leather looks very, very good quality. Then you got matching leather pants also. And I think the fastening, I think the zip is at the back in it, because there's no sort of zip or closure in the front, so I'm assuming there's probably some sort of zip on the back or on the sides. And it's got reinforced knees as well. Motorcycle boots. Oh shit, these are really sick. Really fucking sick. That's a really nice look. Yeah, don't be surprised if you see your favorite rapper trying to wear that recently. Again, a nice jacket there again. Oh, that upside down jacket is fucking beautiful. I love this actually with the fashion designer spray paint. I'm assuming a lot of, I don't know why Asian people love this sort of stuff, but I think you're gonna see a lot of Asian people wearing this shit. They love a piece of clothing with just words on it. So they're probably gonna be all over this fashion designer on the front of the jacket for sure. Especially if they go to a fashion school, they're gonna be fucking all over this. They're gonna be all over that. Continue. We got one that says human being. Oh, there we go. Look at Beckham, boy. Look at Romeo Beckham. That's a real genius casting, by the way. Casting Romeo Beckham in this look with the polo and the big baggy jeans and the shoe, like this, that kind of looks like an older picture of, you know, a vintage picture of fucking David Beckham from back in the day. That's such a great casting, honestly. That's excellent casting. Literally David Beckham's son in an outfit that David Beckham would have worn in the past. and the polo is really nice as well. It's kind of twinkified. I don't think someone like myself will probably look good in this polo. It's a very twink coded polo. Troy Sivan type of frame people would probably look really good in this, and even him, he's quite, you know, he's skinny, but he's also not Troy Sivan skinny. He's still already filling it out, but it's really nice. It's almost it's like a Fred Perry inspired Balenciaga polo that's really slim and really small, with obviously the G-Star inspired jeans as well. Look really fucking cool. And those shoes, I think the silver is probably the nicest colorway. The silver and the gold really make it look good. It's got a zip as well, so the silver colorway looks really fucking cool. And what's that? Is that a phone? Yeah, it's a phone with the black. I don't know what the phone's about. Is that a wallet, or I don't know what that's about there in the hand, but I like it regardless. Big up Romeo Beckham. We continue. More looks again with the polo. Another look there. Is that cargo pants actually? What's that? Yeah, no, more G-Star. I haven't seen any cargo pants actually. I think maybe he might be off them. Oh, I love this with all the layers on it as well. This looks really fucking cool. And also look at this hat. This hat, I think, I said it before, I think on Twitter, that I feel like this hat might have been inspired by like Leonardo DiCaprio, because he loves covering his face with his hat and not allowing paparazzi to get an easy picture of him. But you know, just in general, celebrities being anti-paparazzi and kind of covering their face with their hat. So I'm not too sure if this design of this hat is actually been designed in a way where if you wear it normally, the brim kind of comes all the way across your face, or if this is just a styling thing and the stylist just kind of, you know, tilted the hat a little bit forward to cover the model's face. I don't really know. I would love it to be the opposite. I'd love it to be the, you know, the former. I'd love it if like it was actually designed in a way where you wore it normally and the brim of the hat covers your mouth and your face, but then behind here there's some sort of transparent material where you can actually see through it. That would be fucking cool if that's the case. I doubt that's the case, because I think that would be hard to design, or to, I don't know what type of material that you would have for it to not look transparent on the front but be transparent behind, sort of thing. I'm sure that does exist, but it looks really cool regardless in the terms of the actual look itself on the runway. And we've also got some new Balenciaga slides which look really fucking cool. I think you're going to see a lot of chavs wearing these as well. They look like it's two B's back to back. They almost look like it's like a silver diamondy kind of effect. I think that's like a strap that kind of flaps over it. Maybe it's a Velcro strap, but these are all going to be very popular because they've got big logos on them. So you're going to see people queuing up for these because they've literally got the biggest logo there on the front. So yeah, I don't mind those as well. We continue. More looks there with the layerings and stuff, which I'm also fond of. There's the belt. Oh, okay, maybe that actually I've got it wrong. I think the logo, there we go. I think the logo on the sandals is the same logo on the belt. There you go. It's that logo there. You've got that logo, that kind of triangle metal logo. It's the same logo you got on the sandals. Not too shabby, you know. Not mad at them as well. I ain't mad at them at all. I'm not really the biggest fan of wearing sandals around, you know, casually. I think sandals should be worn on the beach or somewhere hot, but you know, that looks like a good look. I quite like that. There's a Balenciaga priority luggage strap or little thing that you can add to your bag. I'm sure this is going to cost bucks as well. Maybe it's made out of leather, but it's fucking hilarious they're making those sort of things. And again, you got the hat that almost kind of basically covers the entirety of your face. I think it's been designed in a way where if you wear it normally, it just covers your face, you know. That's fucking cool. What a clever, what a really simple but clever idea. I really love that. And I hope that you can see from behind this. Actually, that'd be pretty cool. So you can actually walk around like that day to day. Fucking sick. Actually might be quite cool to DJ with as well, actually. Again, the visor. We continue there. The leather trench here looks really fucking cool. As does that trench as well. We got, oh, look at those trousers too with the extra bit of material there. I think there might be a jacket on top of it. Again with the visor look. The funnel look there with the jacket is really nice. But yeah, most of the stuff here I really like, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, look at that look at those collars. They almost look like scarves, isn't it? That's fucking cool. So yeah, loads of good stuff there from Balenciaga. Oh, look at that. That's fucking wild. That's fucking wild. Look number 49. You got these jeans that, I don't know, are they, I think the jeans are a collar if I'm not mistaken. I think that might be attached to the actual jacket. Yeah, I think that's a collar. I'm not sure, I'm not gonna lie, I think that's an actual collar. That's meant to be a lapel, like you know like a blazer lapel. Instead of having the regular blazer lapel, I think he just replaced the blazer lapels with a pair of jeans. That is so fucking wild. Wow, that is so fucking wild. Imagine seeing somebody walk into a restaurant with that on around their neck. That's insane. That's really fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not mad at that in the slightest. That is fucking insane. And actually, and I love that logo too, by the way. That B logo is really cool. Very AOL, early 2000, you know, what you call it, .com boom sort of thing as well. Look to it. I'm not mad at that in the slightest, but yeah. Look at them now, man. This might be one of the most interesting Balenciaga collections in a while. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I love the clothing in general, I think as a show, there's some really interesting propositions being set forward here. Oh, the hat with the spikes is gonna sell out. People love the hat with the spikes. This is gonna be a very popular piece. I think I'm gonna see this quite often in Berlin when I'm there, or within my scene in general. The techno kids are gonna fucking love that whole look entirely, actually, with the long trench coat and that thing. Yeah. That's a fucking sick look. I love that. Fucking hell. That actually reminds me of like the peak era of fucking Vetements as well. That's really fucking cool. I love that look there. Look number 50. Continue on to the last few. Got some good women's look there. Oh, look at that. Yeah, this person's walk was actually amazing, actually. Number 52, whoever this person was, their walk was fucking incredible. They were owning that runway. Look at the angles. Hips going one way, shoulders going the other way. Fucking, face card, where it should be, bones sticking out where they should be. Loving it. Continue. That was really nice as well, actually. Look number 56, and then again we've got some of the final looks as well there. So big up Demna, loved it, absolutely fucking loved it. Anyways, so let's go to last thing to end it. Let's talk about Man United. Let's end on negativity. Let's end with some negativity. Talking about Man United. So, United drew 0-0 against Aston Villa on Sunday. And in isolation, it was a good result. Because I think most fans, most neutrals coming into that game were thinking we were going to get battered. We were going to get destroyed. And we didn't. Aston Villa beat Bayern Munich in the week in the Champions League. They've been fucking killing it in the league. Emre is establishing himself as a really top manager. They've got great players. They play good brand of football, attacking football, score a bunch of goals, blah, 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 blah. But we were able to basically stifle them and frustrate them and limit their chances. And essentially, we ended up actually looking at the stats here. We actually had more shots on target than them, which is fucking crazy. So we actually were able to do pretty well in that regard. But taking that to one side, it was also an infuriating match because I've always been frustrated with Erik Ten Hag and his inability to make us compact. Like the style of play conversation, it's a bit boring. It's kind of overdone. I'm already over it. But one thing I've always been annoyed by is our inability to defend as a team and attack as a team. It always feels like there's too many gaps between our defense and midfield and attack. It feels like players are very isolated when they're defending. Case in point, the game against Porto in the week where De Ligt and Martinez were really exposed, and there wasn't a lot of like help or teammates around them to kind of double up, and players were able to kind of run and spin and attack them at will, and obviously kind of disrupt us and obviously lead to us conceding goals. But this particular game against Aston Villa, we were actually a very good team unit. We kind of defended together, attacked together. There was hardly any spaces, and the really frustrating thing about it on top of that was that Erik Ten Hag proved he can do this he can kind of coach a team to play this way without having defensive midfielders. We had no recognized CDM, none. We had Eriksen and Maino playing as a double pivot and Bruno Fernandes playing in front of them, and we still defended very well and basically kept a clean sheet. That goes to show that he can coach a team to play this way, but he only did this in order to save his job, because the common sort of thinking around the fucking social media and shit was that he was going to get fired at the end of this match if we lost really badly. So he basically went into this game on a damage limitation tip and basically parked the bus so he wouldn't get embarrassed, which is obviously inexcusable, because a team, a club like United should be going to Aston Villa trying to win. We shouldn't be going there not trying to lose. But if you isolate the result, it was decent. Performance-wise, wasn't really anything to write home about. The quality of the game was very poor, I felt like, because we kind of frustrated them and weren't really trying to win the game, I don't feel like, even though we did have some decent chances. Hoyland played pretty decently, I felt like, for the minutes that he was on. Zersky didn't when he replaced him. I felt like Johnny Evans was definitely man of the match for me. He shone. He was really fucking good. Maguire was also decent with him in the partnership, but it's still, not the best thing to see us relying on those two players when we've spent over 600 million. I felt Eriksen and Maino in midfield were a really good combination together. I thought Rashford did pretty well in some parts, maybe unlucky to get taken off. I thought Garnacho was very greedy, very entitled to the match. And for some reason, Bruno Fernandes played pretty decently too, because he was disciplined and didn't really try to do those hit and hope balls and flicks around the corner. He actually looked after the ball pretty well, but he created nothing. No shots on target, nothing at all, zero. He was very useless going forward, but at least he didn't hamper the team by running around like a headless chicken and just passing the ball to the opposition and inviting more pressure onto us. He did look after the ball pretty well, so you have to give that to him as well. But overall, a pretty uneventful game. Aston Villa probably should feel they should have done more to try and get something out of the game. But they obviously were missing a couple of players as well. I think they were missing Onana, and I forgot who else they were missing who should have been playing as well. Maybe it was Douglas Luiz. No, not Douglas Luiz. He already got sold. I forgot there was somebody else that were missing that they should have played who would have maybe caused us a bit more issues. But, it really didn't work for them in that regard. So maybe a good result in isolation, but overall not good enough to save Erik ten Hag's job. And now he's most likely looking to get sacked. The latest update here, courtesy of Sky Sports News. Let's click on it here and see what the latest update is. There is a thinking that he's going to get sacked on Tuesday, because that's when the Ineos board of directors sort of like meet and kind of do the review of the season, and they were going to decide to sack him maybe on Tuesday. But I feel like it's taking too long anyway. I'm on Ineos fraud watch at the moment. I'm now thinking that we really fucked up by not having the Qataris buy out the club. I feel like this partial ownership thing has really fucked us, and Ineos are moving very slow. So I'm kind of keeping one eye open for Ineos, because I've not been happy with how slowly they've reacted to this obvious, error in giving fucking Erik ten Hag another year. He should have been sacked. He didn't get sacked. He shouldn't have been here anyway. He should have left in the summer. But the fact that they're taking so long to make the decision is very concerning for me, because I feel like it's the easiest choice to make. Everybody knows this. It hasn't worked out. Sack him, send him on his way, and get somebody else in. It's not that difficult. The only problem that we have now at the moment, what do you do with the replacement? Do you give the replacement, do you do the interim and let Ruud van Nistelrooy manage us until the end of the season, and then you get a permanent manager in the summer? Or do you do what this headline is saying and you get someone like a Thomas Tuchel to come in as a permanent boss? I'm not too sure what the right thing to go is. The right thing, I think, obviously, is to get rid of Ten Hag, but the Ruud van Nistelrooy route is also dangerous, because we could also go down that sentiment, old pros thing with Ole Solskjaer, where Ruud van Nistelrooy comes in and imagine he gets us playing champagne football and we're suddenly in the top 4 by Christmas. People will then be clamoring for him to get a fucking 5-year contract. So I would want us, if we're going to give Ruud van Nistelrooy the job on an interim basis, to say it's interim. Doesn't matter if you win the league, doesn't matter, it's interim. And then when it's interim is over, you get the actual permanent manager, and that would actually be what a top club would do. But it's unlikely we'll do that, because we're run on sentiment and nostalgia and shit. So maybe getting a permanent manager is the best way. But unfortunately for us, all the good managers that we'd want are in jobs. So, and they wouldn't want to leave their team mid-season. We're not going to get Xabi Alonso to leave fucking Leverkusen to come manage us. So we're probably going to have to get, work with what is available at the moment. So my number one option would probably be to give Ruud van Nistelrooy the job, get the atmosphere back and buoyant again at the club and get people smiling again, and then see how the season ends and go from there, really. But fucking Erik ten Hag needs to fucking go. He needs to go. Honestly, I'm fed up with that fucking guy. I'm fucking fed up with him. Anyways, that's it, my friends. That has been the Agostinho Zinga Show, episode number 825. 825, 825, 825. Thank you for tuning in. If it's your first time checking out the show, make sure you like the stream down below. Like the stream, please, if you can. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed, turn on your notification so you can be alerted of all the new uploads and clips and live streams and posts and DJ live streams, all that good stuff coming on here. Of course, if you're listening via the audio side of the podcast, you'll hear my tune of the day. My tune of the day is courtesy of the one and only Karol G, and it's a new single that she has at the moment called Si Antes de Hubiera Conocido. I've probably fucked it up, but it's the tune is called Si Antes de Hubiera, Hubiera Conocido. So big up Karol G, Si Antes de Hubiera Conocido. That's my tune there at the moment playing. If you're listening to the audio side of the pod, if you're not listening to the audio side of the pod, you won't hear a tune. So just fade to black. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. And Random Show will be starting in 10 minutes. So head over to the Random Show channel to check that out. But for now, take care, people. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you again very soon. Peace.